Hey everybody, Robert Dunn from ArtandTop10.com, and I'm really pleased to be here today with Alex Hinks and his stunning exhibition, Drawn to Another World. So Alex, here we are again at the Cello Factory, and this time it's a solo outing.
I know, yeah, I've taken my time deciding to get around to a solo show, but got there in the end, and I'm certainly glad I did. So,
I mean, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, it's interesting. So how many different years of work are
this
there?
is 5 years roughly, sort of approximately.
5 years of work, okay, very nice.
And so sort of, throughout the show you see sort of a development of my practice. Occasionally sort of where I've been taken out of my comfort zone, or sort of, or where sort of I've forced myself to question sort of the concept of my work and how best to represent that.
Okay, very nice.
And yeah, no, quite a few varied pieces, but all ties in together quite nicely. So
yeah, it does.
Maybe great to give you a tour. So.
Yeah. So where would you like to start?
Well, let's start here.
Crazy, really crazy things.
Yeah. So
tell
this.
me a bit about this.
So the piece is called Earth to Unknown.
Okay. Earth to Unknown.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
cool.
so sort of with my work, there's a sort of a lot of ideas about the sublime and sort of being overwhelmed.
Okay.
But also sort of there's a natural feel to my work with sort of curves.
Okay.
So here we have a sort of jute rope, and on the ground there's these coils which sort of represent sort of the earth and nature and something very natural.
Okay.
Set against these sort of taut sort of ropes which reach up to the ceiling and sort of overwhelm the viewer. And then just to finish the piece off, I've put some floodlights in there too.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm.
That's interesting. So I've never really thought about that before. So the whole thing is always, are the paintings meant to overwhelm the viewer as well, in a good way?
In a good way, yeah. Sort of, there's definitely a euphoric element to them. The idea for me is always sort of contrast, and so you have sort of these hard-edged structures set against sort of fluidity. And I'm kind of sort of got that. So that the same contrast with that is in this piece here, and it's nice how the viewer can walk around it.
You can experience it in all the different areas.
Definitely, from upstairs too. Sort of it's.
Exactly.
It's sort of, I think maybe it's the best perspective from up there. Yeah. Sort of.
And I like it. So are they meant to be growing out of the ground up to the sky?
I would say more shooting, but maybe some sort of
fight for euphoria.
So it could be something spiritual, or it could maybe be sort of something like light speed. The colours of the jute is very natural, and I set it against my painting in the back here, which is called Burst Point of No Return. And so then, this is one of sort of my recent sort of expanding paintings.
The expanding paintings are cool, how they actually come out off the canvas.
Exactly, So throughout the show, sort of the idea of breaking up the frame of painting is sort of a theme that's always repeated.
So how did you come up with the idea of making the painting break off
we're dated back to the amalgamation exhibition here. When I sort of wanted to, of course you were in it. I wanted to sort of test myself and sort of make sure that sort of I was part of sort of my practice and sort of my concept of art fitted with sort of that show, and so the amalgamation of sort of it leaving the painting and
sort of forced you to try and look at a way of branching out.
But then also sort of the original painting was just asking to be expanded, sort of with this sort of flux
It's almost saying, "Let me out," isn't it?
So here we have my latest expanding painting. This piece really has taken over the wall.
Totally. Beautiful.
It's sort of 140 pieces.
140 pieces.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
what a mission! Are they all numbered?
They're all numbered. They're color coded. They're color coded. So both those two pieces took about 2 days to install. And then the rope piece, that was 5 days, and so I've had my work cut out with these shows. But I don't know, it's good to test myself and to.
They look amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like. I think it is nice, isn't it? I mean, you've always got that contrast between these diagonal shapes and the more pure earthy shape. But then within the diagonals, you've still got the earthy bit as well.
Exactly.
You're kind of flipping it and playing it and twisting it around.
Of course, and also sort of the structure here is sort of is very curvaceous with its expanse, which then is also tying in. Even though it is a hard edge sort of straight line structure, So yeah, no, there's a push and pull with
This bit looks like you just want to drive a car.
Yeah.
Crazy
Yep,
mad loop the loop thing.
Yep.
So any of these other ones you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, sort of. I do have a few favourites.
Let's see.
And so this is a recent one.
Yeah.
And so I ended up calling it mirrored because you've got sort of the background span. So sort of tonally in colours, so the sort of the background and the foreground are represented in this structure. It's all sort of the same colours, and then you have this sort of flipping sort of
that's quite cool, actually.
Yeah, and no, it's lovely with all these pieces, all the way sort of movements created, sort of with sort of the flows of the sort of paint, but then also sort of the curved structure.
Like sort of swirling around inside it almost.
Yeah. And
whispering through it. Yeah, you don't
so this is the piece that I used for the poster of the show.
Okay.
And so this is an older piece, but sort of, again, I love sort of the flow of the background.
The flow's really cool.
Yeah. And
that's really cool. And I quite like these actually, just where they're just pure left white.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's a bit of because that's a very set contrast there. Sort of.
It's interesting as you look at your pictures. What's quite cool about them is that you while they're imaginative, you change and do some new ideas all the time. You're still sort of sticking with that.
Yep. So
idea.
Digging away, and I'm still feel that I'm getting a lot out of that. But I sort of you can throughout the show see a development in the pieces. Sort of. So like here is an even earlier piece, and so this is a lot more sort of subtle washes. And so this piece is called Cascade, again with this flow that goes through.
It's quite interesting because that almost has like a sort of glazy wash feel over the top of it. And then you've got this other sort of fractured sort of triangles spilling out towards the top.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm actually a bit like sort of stars in the sky.
Yeah, exactly.
And sort of another piece around the same period as sort of there. And so all of these pieces are actually called flowing formats, and sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, because I kind of feel like sort of you have this sort of technological sort of expanse with the structure, sort of it being very clean, sort of you can imagine sort of like some kind of machinery, and then sort of it's flowing with also the background. So flowing formats for the series.
It's almost curve out, isn't it? And this is almost like a piece of ginger.
Yeah.
It's got quite but it's got quite a heavy sort of 3D organic shape.
So yes, it's organic. It could be looking under a sort of a microscope at something, or it could be looking into the sort of a vast nebula space.
Because often I feel they are looking into vast nebula space. And are these ones quite recent ones?
These are very recent, yeah. So so again, they have the fluidity within the structure, and so I love the vibrance of this one.
No, it's got really nice colours in this one, with this sort of blue and this sort of what do you call it? Sort of
burgundy.
Burgundy, it's a lovely burgundy colour. It's really cool actually.
I like
this sort of over the top, that sort of globule of.
I love how the sort of the turquoise, the way that flows in there. Sort of, it's really stunning. Sort of, and that then, so I guess with the same thought process as the one we just looked at, so the ethereal one, so I'm again using the same colours sort of I felt the piece. But then also with all my work, so I sort of like to use colours that go well together, so they're very sort of tertiary colours, and sort of I'm always kind of nervous of using primary colours, but sort of
it's difficult. Isn't it? I use a lot of primary colours and then worry about them.
Yes. But then so that's what they complement each other, and they make if you really want the colour to stand out, then you've got to. And sort of, I'm more trying to have that kind of wash, this sort of effect, sort of subtleties.
This one's really effective. I think it's really effective. This one because you've actually got a layered sort of 3D thing going on with this and that, and then these bits in the background. It's got a sort of variety of 3D.
You're sort of 3D-ness build up the layers to sort of add that sort of depth. And so this one was really successful here. So
that's quite nice.
It's beautiful, this flow here, sort of, but also so it's very earthy colours, and sort of again why I decided to hang it sort of next to my installation, so that sort of ties in. Sort of,
and this one's got a lovely kind of nice beigey, flowy vibe.
And it's quite nice here how this sort of structured element or sort of curve on top kind of melts into the background.
It's quite clever how you've done that, because this is the background, and this is also the foreground.
Yeah. So
cheeky.
That was, yeah.
It's actually really complicated to achieve.
It was, yeah, and it's something that sort of you can't usually achieve, but I had the opportunity this time, so I took it.
That's really good, actually. Yeah, it's quite clever. I'm liking these newer ones where you're sort of re-interlacing. You've got this depth here, but then you've got this extra added depth coming over the depth. They're sort of layering it. It's becoming even more 3D than it was before.
Yeah. So
that's really cool.
So, pushing the practice.
Yeah, pushing the practice. So Alex, this one's wild. What's going on here?
Sort of throughout the show, there's sort of a lot of reworking or sort of previous pieces.
Okay.
And so previously for this exhibition, I'd made a stack of paintings, and then also in another show, one of my pieces was hung at this angle. So I've sort of combined both of those sort of previous installs into one piece.
Nice.
And then also, I've also chronologically made this shows a lot about my development, my practice over the last 4 or 5 years. And so this actually is a development so as it builds up.
Oh, quite nice.
You actually
it's
a chronological stack of my development.
Freaky idea.
Yeah.
So that is literally an earlier painting.
So earlier paintings through to more hard edge, and then at the very top there's a little creak of my fluidity paintings.
Cool.
And it also I've installed it so it appears it's like coming out of the floor and then going off in ceilings. So who knows what the next development will be.
That's really nice.
It's a very playful piece, and so I'm hoping that people walking along the street will look in. This will catch their eyes. But I'm sure the rope piece will probably catch a few eyes too. But
That's really cool.
It's very playful
playful and fun. And I always like small abstract.
So they're beautiful. So the two on the ends are actually digital collages.
Oh, really?
And so with the virtual reality piece, I needed samples to then put into this virtual world. And so while creating those, I also saw the opportunity to actually make these collages. And but in the middle, we do actually have a mini painting.
So is that a collage?
That's a collage,
Where's the collage?
Well, it's printed.
So, it's printed? So you did it digital?
So it's, digital collage,
Interesting. That's quite a fun idea. That's a really nice way to...
It's nice to when you get that hard edge you'd never get with a painting. But then this is a painting, so that's
a really sweet little painting. It's nice, isn't it?
So I did one of those charity auctions where you donate your that piece is now gone, but I bought a few other sketch bars, and I've made this too.
That's really cool. I really like it. Nice.
And and then at the end we have another digital collage. So this is his latest one and could be the inspiration to the next virtual reality piece.
Because you had a virtual reality piece in the exhibition recently, didn't you? Which is really good.
And it's that piece is projected upstairs, and so it'll be interesting to see how people interpret it it is nice when you just print something and it's then just there perfect with these paintings. You're on your hands and knees for weeks.
Exactly. And then something simple happens. It's really cool though. You managed to keep the whole vibe of the actual pictures itself.
So used to be a graphic designer.
Digital.
So it's just
all these bits are digital.
Well, with my work, I'm a process painter, and so it's a process of development throughout the pieces, and so I usually photograph the pieces as I go, and then I can look at that photograph and scratch my head and wonder what actually is working here, how can I push this piece on, and then I have all these digital records, and I can edit those and put them together and create these collages.
That's really cool. It's really cool. So Alex, we're up here on the mezzanine level.
Yes.
But it looks amazing from up here, doesn't it? You get a real... You're almost like up in the sublime with the sublime taking place.
It's always interesting with the different perspectives from here, and so when I was up here last night, looking at this rope installation, Earth to Unknown, it then made me start sort of visualising them as little volcanoes.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I do like little volcanoes. Volcanoes are quite sort of sublime
things
in themselves, aren't
definitely,
they?
yeah. Sort of, I'm sure sort of throughout history, mankind's been terrified and mystified by them.
Forever.
And
which is exactly it. And then through this door here, which we won't go through, it's quite dark. There's a really cool kind of film plus bamboo experience.
So sort of with my virtual reality piece, it was interesting sort of people experiencing it through the headset, you would some people would end up having vertigo, other people would absolutely love it, screaming, exactly. My mum had to sit on the floor when so this time I'm projecting it, and also I've made this bamboo installation alongside it, and that will create this sort of concept of a virtual space set against a physical space, and the projection of course is moving, and the bamboo is static, but then the way that it's installed, it has this sort of sense of movement, as if it's sort of flying out of the wall. And also it's tying into the Earth to Unknown installation with this, the orgagnicity of the bamboo set against this virtual technological world. And also with the bamboo being projected onto, and the bamboo is floating, it then creates all these shadows. And also there's a window in the projection too, which then those shadows are manipulated by, and there's also that window's stained glass, so there's slight essence of the colour coming through the cracks. And throughout the show, the idea of light and shadows is very apparent, or whether it be the stack of paintings downstairs or the rope piece with the floodlights.
Oh yeah, light and shadow. It's nice actually. I thought there is a sense of light and shadow in it all as well, isn't there?
And so even with my paintings, it's a contrast of light against dark.
Yes. Yeah, there is a light and shadow vibe going on. And the nebula. Well, it's pretty nice. I've really enjoyed seeing the show. It's absolutely fantastic. I hope everybody comes and looks at it, and I hope they're all sucked up into the sublime.
I'm sure they will be. Thank you very much, Rob.
It's really, really good. Loved it.
Great. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bombuckler.